When you lose someone on the road, particularly in the way that we lost Eddy, it is incredibly violent and incredibly sudden. So you often don't get to say goodbye to that person. We all woke up really happy that morning, and we were in the wheelhouse of our boat, and Eddy spotted a rabbit in the garden, and we looked at the rabbit, and then we all said "I love you" to each other. And Eddy was really keen. He was like itching to get going that day because he wanted to get back in enough time to go kayaking with the canoe club. He bounded off the boat, very happy. Half an hour later, he was hit by a van as he queued in traffic. He was riding his motorbike. The next morning, I knew what was coming and I couldn't get off the floor of the hospital. I just was lying on the ground next to Eddy's bed, and the neurosurgeon, he got on the floor with me. He could see I couldn't get up, and he confirmed that Eddy's brain was dead. He was never going to recover. Like, since he's gone, so many people have said to me they've never met such a calm and spiritual person, and he made people feel calm and he made them feel listened to. And I think so many people have sort of said that to me since he's gone. And it's funny because he wasn't remotely religious, and I think he did identify with a certain amount of Buddhism, and I think had he not had as much fun in his life at the moment and as much love, then he maybe would have gone into Buddhism. But it's like he just didn't even need religion. And it's so nice because that like character he exuded, people used to say different things to me like, Eddy would be such a good yoga teacher, and Eddy would be such a good teacher, Eddy would be such a good childminder, and why doesn't Eddy do relaxation tapes? And I think he did just have that way about him. He just made people feel calm. When this first happened, and the horror, or the realisation of what exactly this now meant, that Eddy wouldn't be in our lives anymore, one of the first things that came to my mind in the hospital was how he'd made my family better. He'd like made us nicer to each other, and he'd made family gatherings so much more fun. I think that was my biggest fear when I realised that we were going to lose him, was that my whole family has changed, and we have already. I want to talk about the motorbike because I think when something like this happens, people's instinct is to go, oh, motorbikes are so dangerous. But what I don't want is the motorbike to become this thing we can't ever talk about, because that goes against everything Eddy believed in. And what Eddy believed, like, so many people say to me, Eddy was so calm, Eddy was so spiritual, Eddy was just so unbelievably nice, and he was. But Eddy could get angry about stuff, and not very many things triggered it. Only really two. One was people smoking anywhere near him or Ciara, and the other was bad driving, and it absolutely infuriated him. And the fact that he's been taken in this way is just horrific, because Eddy really strongly believed that the road is for everyone. And he believed that because he was a cyclist first, and then he was a motorbiker, and he was a car driver, and he was just felt so strongly that there's space for everyone on the road. There is space for cyclists on London roads. There's just not a space for totally bad driving. So I think for us to say, oh, motorbikes are dangerous, bikes are dangerous, I think that would actually make Eddy really sad, because it's only dangerous if you allow it to be dangerous, and if you allow drivers to continue driving like they're the only people on the road. I don't want to carry on with my life like this unless I'm doing something that fights for Eddy now that he can't fight for himself. I just want to know that Eddy doesn't get forgotten in the tragedy of this situation, because he deserves like so much more, and he deserves to be there, and in the absence of him being here, for me and for Sarah and for Brandon and Kiwi and Calvin and for his parents and for everyone, we have to fight on his behalf.
Video later.